Hey everyone, it's Ryan with The Smart House, and on today's video I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Now, I get a lot of people asking questions about, is this my bedroom? Do I actually sleep next to a running 3D printer? No, this is actually a dedicated spare bedroom / my office. So, since you guys have seen pieces and parts of it, I thought I'd go ahead and give you a tour of my setup, my recording setup, and some of the tools that I use with a little bit of automation sprinkled in. Now, I figured this tour is good at this time for two reasons. One, it's almost Prime Day, and so a lot of cool tools and other items are going to be on sale. So I figured if you want to pick those up, this is a good time to do it. And the main reason is I got sent a new desk. Now, my old desk setup was a bit rough. I've kind of pieced it together over the last few years. I've got a lot of things that I like, but there's a lot of things I didn't like about it. So when FlexiSpot reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to try out one of their desks, it was a perfect opportunity. Now, FlexiSpot asked if I'd like to try out one of their new electric standing desk converters. Now, if you haven't seen one of these standing desk converters, they're pretty cool. It allows you to take an existing desk or surface and place this converter on top of it and turns it into a standing desk. Now, I've actually had a lot of experience with their manual standing desks. We bought a ton of them at my last job because we had built-in cubicles, so we couldn't replace the desks. This allowed us to be adaptable for users that wanted standing desks without having to rip out and replace very expensive cube furniture. Now, these standing desk converters are an easy way for you to be able to add the functionality of a standing desk to your existing area. Installation is a snap. All you gotta do is take the converter out of the box, place it on your desk, snap in the included keyboard tray, and plug it in. Once you plug it in, all you gotta do is press the up or down button to raise or lower the desk. Now, the way these desks are designed, they're perfect for most setups. They can be used either with a standalone laptop up to a 17-inch. My 16-inch MacBook Pro fits perfectly on the keyboard tray. Or if you wanna be like me and go ahead and stack a bunch of monitors and other gear on there, this will work out fine for you. Now, the desk is limited to 55 pounds for all the gear that you add to it. Now, I'm quite sure I'm pretty close to the edge of that, but my desk moves up and down without any issues. Now, I've got the smaller 36-inch desktop. It also comes in a 40-inch desktop as well, which adds an additional 4 inches to the top surface. The keyboard tray stays the same size. It's also available in a second style that comes in white. So you do have some options to match your particular layout. So for my day job, I spend about half my time in the office and half my time working from here. It's nice to be able to have the flexibility to work and take phone calls while standing, similar to how my desk is set up in the office. But I get the advantage of not having to give up all the storage that I have in my existing desk. My current desk is an IKEA desk, and it has plenty of storage on the side and a nice drawer. Most of the standing desks don't have this, or you have to get additional rolling cabinets to go with that. So this is a nice compromise for that. I get the standing desk capability without having to actually lose all my storage. It's super easy to convert from a sitting mode to a standing mode. All you have to do is press the up button and the desk will adjust from 5.7 inches up to 19.7 inches. You can stop it at any point along the line or let it go all the way up to the top. Then, of course, it's just as easy as pressing the down button when you want to return to the sitting position. Now, I find the desk is very stable. The only problems that I have is the underlying IKEA desk sitting on carpet. It's a little wobbly. Because of that, I've tested it on a couple different surfaces. On my kitchen table downstairs, it's completely rock solid. So if you'd like to check out any of the products that I've talked about today, I've got links to everything in the description and also on the attached blog post. Hopefully, some of these will be available on Prime Day, and if I see any good deals, I'll post them here and on my social media. So now that we've looked at the standing desk, let's take a look at the rest of the setup. Now, starting with the computer, I'm a laptop user. I'm either gonna be using my personal Windows machine or my work MacBook Pro. Both of these are high-spec machines that are great for editing. I've never been a PC gamer, so I've always relied on laptops and consoles. Now, in order to keep the laptop out of the way, I use a dock, specifically the Dell WD-19 series of docks. I've purchased a ton of these for work, and I decided to pick one up for myself. This is a great little dock because it allows you to use a single cable to power most every USB-C or Thunderbolt 3 compatible laptop. Now, there are a couple different versions of them that are out there, but the one I have has 2 DisplayPort ports, an HDMI port, a USB-C Thunderbolt port, a couple USB ports on the back, and a couple USB ports on the front. Now, this is great because this can power a Dell laptop up to 120 or 180 watts, and it's perfectly fine to run my MacBook Pro. You can also do dual monitor output with the MacBook Pro if you have the right cable adapters. Now, to hold my laptops, I went ahead and purchased these cool little wooden brackets off of Amazon. These are something you could probably make or 3D print if you wanted to, but the nice advantage of this is it comes with the screws and screw head covers all ready to go. I can't get a great shot of this because it's screwed into the side of my desk, but once it's screwed in, it's quite secure. Don't try to use adhesive tape because it will fall off. That happened to me while I was on my trip. I came back to discover my laptop on the ground. Thankfully nothing broke, but make sure to secure these to your surface. If you have the room, you can also mount them under an existing desk. I tried to keep as much as I could off of the standing desk and keep it under the original desk. So I've got a 3D printed bracket holding my dock under my bottom desk. So connected to that, I've got dual 32-inch Dell 4K monitors. I recently upgraded these 4K monitors and they are overkill for my space. But it's nice to be able to do screen recording in 4K and have tons of screen real estate when doing editing. Now you may have noticed in some of my live streams or other videos, I have lights that go under my monitors. This is actually a future project that I'll be doing in the next month. I've got some LED strips set up being controlled with WLED to act as a desk light and some ambient light in the room. Also, it can be controlled by Hyperion, similar to the screen here behind me, and you can use it to do ambient lighting on your computer. It's a pretty neat project, and I'll have something out in the next month once I receive my new PCBs. Now the monitors themselves are mounted using a dual arm mount I got off of Amazon. I actually ended up buying 2 mounts so I could get this extra tall bar in the middle. This is super nice because I can connect other things to the top of the bar and have them all in line with the center of the monitors. Now this setup works pretty well for me. I can move the monitors out of the way if I need to get behind them to change something, and also position them wherever I want to, whether I'm sitting or standing. Now another nice thing about the FlexiSpot converter is it does have a pre-drilled hole in the center for desktop arms. So all you have to do is pop out a plug, insert the included threaded bolt, and you're on your way. Or you could use the hardware from your existing monitor arm if it fits. This is nice because you don't have to worry about a clamp bracket sliding off the back of the desk, and it provides some additional stability being put towards the center of the standing desk. Now, also connected to my dock are my other peripherals. I have various cords and cables that are connected. Of course, I've got my Stream Deck connected in its custom printed mount. If you've watched my other videos on this Stream Deck, you'll know I use this for almost everything. I have video editing profiles in there for Adobe Premiere. I use it in Adobe Lightroom, Photoshop. I use it in general Windows. It also can control my smart home. So if you haven't seen that video, you can check it out right here. It shows you how to control Home Assistant using the Stream Deck. So these 2 Dell monitors are connected to a single smart plug. This allows me to turn the monitors off, say when I'm rendering video, and gives me an idea of how much energy I'm using with each of these monitors. Plus, since I'm able to pull energy data from it, I know when the monitors are actually on and in use. So then Home Assistant can tell when I'm actually sitting at the desk. I control the monitors being turned on and off either with the Google Assistant or with this IKEA Light controller. Now one of the new items I did purchase specifically for this video is a new keyboard. This is a Keychron K4. It's a 90% keyboard, so it does have the numpad. I know I'm an old guy. I like using numpads. I'm very fast with 10 keys, but it also has the capability of doing Bluetooth. So this will work. This has specific profiles for my Mac or my Windows machine, and I can connect it to the iPad or my phone or any other device using Bluetooth. And it has a nice set of brown keycaps, which I absolutely love. They're not as clicky as my other keyboard, but they give a nice tactile feedback when typing. I've also gone with this custom keycap set. As you can tell, orange and black are kind of my colors, plus this kind of reminds me of Titanfall. I really like these keyboard caps. Now for all the peripherals on my desk, I really like to use magnetic adapters. These allow me to just snap these on and off, so if I want to clear my desk to work on a project, I can just grab the devices and move them off onto the bed. So for this one, I have a little right angle USB-C adapter. For this one, I have a nice little right angle USB-C adapter. Now for my mouse, I'm using the creator's favorite, the Logitech MX Master 3. Now I've actually owned about 3 of these. I lost one in an airport. I keep one in my backpack. I really, really love this mouse. It's a great feel. It's big for my hands, and the buttons just seem to work quite well. They don't seem to wear out as other ones do. Plus it's rechargeable. And again, I have a little magnetic charger that I can just snap in and charge it up when it gets low. Now another peripheral I have on my desk is this tour box. Now this is a controller specifically designed for creators. Gives you some buttons and dials to use when you're video or audio or picture editing. It's been pretty nice, and it did help speed up my process quite a bit, but I have gotten more used to using the keyboard shortcuts on my Mac, so I don't use it as often as I did before. I'd really like to try out the Loupedeck products, but they are quite expensive. This is quite a bit more affordable than a Loupedeck because there's no fancy screens on it. So if you are a beginner or you really like to use tactile buttons, this might be a good choice for you. Now I did mention them before, but I absolutely love these magnetic USB cables. They're super convenient to be able to just snap on something and have it start charging. The little charging adapters aren't very big, And it's nice because I can actually use one plug, whether it's a lightning port, a USB-C, or a micro USB. I have just one on my desk and it's currently connected to one of my headsets. I can pop that off, snap it in my mouse if I need to. I also have one on my iPad, so I can just snap it into the iPad and charge that up. But be aware there are two different versions of these. This happens to be just a charger. It just has the two single pins on there, so it's able to charge. They do have slightly more expensive versions that allow you to do both charging and data. I've got links to both of those in the description below. I also have this nifty card reader and USB hub. Also has a phone stand built into it. This is nice because I have a fingerprint reader on here. I can connect in flash drives or other cables to connect devices. Plus I have every conceivable card reader at my fingertips. Another recent addition that I purchased for this video is my charging station. Now, I've had a ton of different wireless chargers. They're all about the same. This is a really cool little setup that's actually designed for Apple products, but it works great on all my Samsung gear. This is this Anker power station. It has an adjustable charging stand for your phone. It has a small wireless charger for my Galaxy Buds Plus, and it has a USB-A port that you can attach an additional watch adapter. It comes with an adapter specifically built for the Apple Watch charger. I went ahead and designed a drop-in replacement for that fits my larger 46mm Samsung Watch 4. Now this little setup is great because if I need to charge my watch, everything's all in one. I don't have to get any additional adapters. Plus, it breaks down for easy travel. Next thing I'll mention is my Ethernet connection. I know that's boring. The dock comes with an Ethernet connection, but I've supplemented that with a 2.5 gig Ethernet connection. I do have a small 2.5 gig network because I do have Google Fiber 2 gig in my house, so I like to be able to use it. Whichever machine is connected here has the capability of getting 2 gig down and 1 gig up using my Google Fiber connection. And last but not least, I have a Google Nest display that I primarily use to display weather data, home assistant information, or just family pictures. And of course, I can't get away from a video without putting in a little bit of automation. One of the things I've done is I've taken an old door window sensor and I've attached it to the supports on the standing desk. What this allows me to do is know when the desk is in a standing position or a seated position, so I can track how much time I spend standing every day when I'm home. I take the information from the monitor power, whether the monitors are on and also consuming more than a watt, so I know that they're actually on and being used to control things like my booster fan in here. It controls the lights. We'll start a timer to show how much time I've actually been in the office. It turns on the status light in front of my office door so my kids know if I'm in the office or not. And it starts tracking time whether I'm seated or standing. So it knows that if the sensor is closed, that I'm sitting because the standing desk is all the way down. When I move the standing desk into an upper position, then it switches over and starts counting that time against my standing time. So that way I can track to know how much time I spend standing versus sitting every day. All right, so on to some of my more creator-centric items. At the very top of the monitor mount, I have an additional arm. So when I purchased this extra long monitor arm mount, it came with a small fixed monitor arm. Now that isn't much good for my monitors, but I've modified it. So I've taken a 1/4 bolt and ran it through a light mount so I can mount my Godox video light to this arm, which is great because I can swing it out of the way when I'm not using it and it keeps it above my monitors even when I'm in standing mode on the desk. So my Godox light has a small, newer diffuser on it that allows me to have nice soft light. I'm actually using it here. In addition, I have an extra long AC cord that I use, and it's all controlled with a smart switch. So I can use one button on my Stream Deck, and when I boot up into recording mode, it automatically turns on this light. So when I'm sitting at the desk, either doing a screen recording tutorial, or sometimes when I'm doing either a podcast interview or even video calls, I like to use my Scarlett 2i2 audio interface. Now, I bought this for a wedding ages ago, and I've just recently started using it in my setup. It's super nice, gives you a lot of flexibility. It'll take 2 inputs, an output to a left and right speaker, which I haven't gotten yet. I use this paired with an Audio-Technica 2020 microphone. Not the biggest fan of this microphone. It's a little on the quiet side, but the quality difference between that and my USB microphone is huge. One of the recent additions I've done is I've added a pair of in-ear monitors when editing or on a phone call. These are super nice because they tuck behind the ears, and I've 3D printed a little collar clip that'll slip over my collar and hold them into place. This is great because when I'm on a call, you can't really see the headphones. I'm not wearing big bulky headphones like I used to. And it also keeps me cooler because I don't have those big cups over my ears. Of course, I've got my Elgato Key Light Mini that I use when either on video calls or as a second light source when doing screen recordings. Paired with that, I have the Logitech Brio 4K web camera. Now, I use this webcam not only in video calls and podcast interviews, but I also can convert it into a down camera, so you can get top-down shots if I'm happen to be soldering something on my desk for a video. So speaking of cameras, I'm a Canon guy. I've used numerous of the prosumer grade EOS cameras from Canon, and I'm currently using the M6 Mark II. This great, small, compact mirrorless camera is lightweight and it fits almost anywhere. Right now I'm paired it with my 22mm lens, but a lot of times you'll see me use a 50mm lens to get that nice blurry background. I have a magic arm connected to that tall monitor mount behind my monitor. This is great because I can just clamp that on, slide my camera into the Arca Swiss compatible adapter, and tighten it down. I then will use a dummy battery to keep the camera charged at all times, so that way I never have to run into dead battery issues. Now when I do these type of stand-up talking heads or on-the-road videos, I use the DJI mic kit. Now this is a really awesome little setup that allows you to use up to 2 wireless microphones with either a single camera. They also have onboard recording and connectable wind mics. I've been using these for all my videos since early April. It's an awesome and super fast setup and gives you pretty good audio quality. That covers everything on my desk. Now quickly, let's cover the last few items of interest in the office. Now of course, you've seen my 3D printer and its setup in a previous video, but I've recently added on a filament dryer and made some modifications so then I can feed 1 of 2 spools directly into my 3D printer. I've been recently printing a lot of 2 or 3 color prints, and that comes in handy to make a very easy switch between filament colors. I've also purchased a matching desk similar to my main desk for my 3D printer, so it has its own space without being on a folding desk. Now behind me, of course, if you've been watching my videos, you've seen my Hyperion Ambilight setup that runs on my 55-inch TV back here that's connected in with my Xbox Series X. I've recently switched out the TV stand that it was sitting on with an IKEA cabinet. Now this IKEA cabinet is nice because I can shove all my camera gear in there and close it and lock it away, keep the kids out of it. Plus, I have punched a hole in the back and ran power into there, and so I've got a small charging station at the bottom. All right, so there you go. That's a quick tour of my office / studio setup. I wanted to make this because I do plan on moving into a new space here in the future. We're gonna start finishing our basement hopefully next year. So I like to kind of get a tour of what it looks like now versus what it'll look like here in the future. If you have any questions on any of the items I talked about, or if you saw something I missed, please leave them in the comments below, or feel free to join our Discord. Thank you again to FlexiSpot for sending me the standing desk. I really enjoy it. It's nice to have that flexibility, and it's gonna be really nice on my back to not sit all day hunched in front of the computer. Now, if you'd like to see some of my other gear review videos, you can click on the playlist right here. And as always, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to our channel by clicking our logo right here. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next video.